Today, I want to create this makeup look. It came across my feed and it just seems so sweet and angelic. What I think is really interesting about it is that these soft pinks are kind of working against her complexion. She seems to have a bit of oliviness to her skin, and baby pinks tend to not be recommended for olive skin. They kind of are very contrary to it. And yet, this makeup look looks gorgeous. And so I love playing against color seasons and breaking the rules and seeing what effect we can create. So I'm gonna try this look on my slightly olive skin. I have a very subtle olive undertone as somebody with fair skin. And that being said, I'm also gonna be trying out a foundation today, a new foundation that has olive undertones. Brands are finally starting to get it. I've got a couple other new makeup items that I think are gonna work for this. So that's the plan for today. Let's get into it. First things first, her skin is very glowy, so I'm going to prep for glowy skin. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, trying out a new shade in 2.5. Admittedly, I think it might be a touch dark, but we won't be able to tell once the foundation's on. But I'd like to get this all over the face, because she really does have glow happening on the cheeks. I see it on the forehead, even on the nose, and yeah, a glowy base, of course, great for any kind of those fresh, dewy, angelic looks. So foundation. Wonderskin just came out with their foundation. This is the Hyper Bond Serum Foundation. I think you can probably tell based just on the bottle that this one is the olive undertone one. This is a self-setting foundation, also has priming benefits and skincare benefits. I used it once without prepping my skin at all. I just totally forgot, and I found it worked so well. I could really feel that it was lightweight. So today what I want to do is try it on this glowy skin base and see how it performs. So the two shades that I have are Echo. So this is the olive undertone one. This is considered neutral with strong olive undertones. And then I also have Muse, which is a neutral that's not too pink or too yellow. I'll show you just both shades out of curiosity. To be honest, this olive undertone is a little dark for me, but I find mixing it is getting me like that perfect match. So here it is on its own. So you can see the olive is olivine. This one's Muse, which I think is a decent match too, if just a touch pink for me. So what I found was just mixing these two shades together created a really good match for me. Honestly, one of the best matches I've had. Now that brands are coming out with olive undertones for fairer people, I've been able to like do some mixing and finally get shades that weren't standing out against my neck. So just very exciting. Let's apply these two shades together. I'm gonna mix them pretty equally, and yeah, all over the face. We'll see how it looks with my neck. So one pump of Echo and one pump of Muse. Then I'm taking the Wonderskin sponge, which I did get wet. I'm just gonna buff this all over the face, including onto the eyelid. When I use a sponge, I love the finish, and I like to go in with like a lot of foundation with it at first, rather than little bits at a time, because then I can just like get it all on the skin and then blend it out pretty quickly. So I'm really liking how that finishes with the glow. Like it just looks very skin-like, and it feels really light on the skin. They say it doesn't settle into fine lines, so my forehead is a great place to test that because I have these expression lines where foundation gets stuck a lot. So we shall see what happens as the foundation sets. Personally, I feel those two shades together were a great match for me. I am going to brighten with a bit of concealer at the center. There seems to be quite a bit of brightness, which I think also helps the pink look very fresh as well. So I'm going to take Chantilly from NARS, which is quite a brightening shade, although I do find it pretty friendly for a slightly green undertone. Around the nose, maybe. Especially right here at the center of the face, just above the brow. I'm gonna go in with the sponge again, If you ever use too much concealer at any point, using a sponge is a great way to really diffuse it nicely on the skin and pick up any extra product. I did my brows off camera. She has a very like fresh laminated brow style. And I don't personally like that on myself, but if that's in your makeup arsenal or something you like, definitely go for that. I think it really suits this look. I just prefer a slightly narrow, streamlined brow. Now, blush. Let's go in for the blush. I don't really see bronzer or contour really. It's just like that blush like all across the cheek, like all the way up to the temple, all the way down. It's a blushy moment, and you know I love a blushy moment. I'm gonna go in with the Wonderskin Flush Stick. This is one of those pH adjusting blushes, so they tend to go very classic pink as you build it up, which is perfect for this look. I'm gonna start this blush right here and bring it all the way up to really my hairline. I prefer also to go straight into a brush and then onto my cheek for more control. But you could definitely go straight from the stick to your skin and watch the magic happen as it changes colors. Kind of working in a very much like diagonal from here all the way down, all the way up. Going on top of the cheekbone, close to the eye. Okay, that's cute. And I like that there's like a little bit of dewiness to this blush so that we're keeping up with that glow I started with, because the foundation really did self-set a little bit. This is bringing some of that glow back into the skin. Taking Merit Cava so I can do a bit more pinpointing highlight right at the top of the cheekbone. And this has that wet sheen highlight to it, so really complementary to everything I've been doing with the skin prep. And then this blush, getting it on the forehead and on the nose. I'm gonna put it here as well. For the lips, I wanna go in with like cool tone pinks and mauves, and these new Merit shades are gonna be perfect for that. I think this might be part of their holiday release. So the shade is Archival, which is described as a cool mauve. I'm gonna start with the Merit lip liner. This is newer formula, and I really like it. Really easy to use. It looks exactly like what she's wearing. So we want something with a little bit of that cool tone liner effect, like sculpting, but there is a touch of pink to it. And then going in with the Archival lip oil. That brings it together. Something about this lip shade. It's a little bit cool. I love it. I'm not normally a cool tone gal, but I've been loving this. Yes, I like it. Okay, now we got to move on to the eyes. I've got a little bit of freshness to it. They look pretty simple, just like a little bit of sheen and liner. I don't even know if there's really eyeshadow, but just for good measure, I'll put like a little bit on the eyelid just to sculpt out the eye. I'm gonna go in with the Hindash palette and just take this very light neutral just to define the crease a little bit, but really that's it for like shading. That's why some of these fresh looks can be so nice. You don't have to go into like a complicated eyeshadow look. That shimmer on her lid is so pretty. It looks like a cool champagne with a touch of yellow. I don't even know. I was swatching a bunch of shimmers. I'm like, do I even have the right one? And actually I was thinking this Wonderskin eyeshadow stick in champagne seemed pretty accurate. So I'm gonna try it at the center of the lid. Just really like make this spotlight here. Yeah, that really works. And then at the inner corner, I love this. So simple, but so pretty. You know what, for good measure, actually, I think I will bring this across the whole lid. I changed my mind. And then just put that extra spotlight there. And then the other shimmer I was looking at, because there was this slight yellowiness to it, is from the What's Up Beauty Geodes palette. There's a yellow shimmer. Like I was kind of thinking that adding that as well could just really make it pop. Let's cross our fingers and hope. Yeah, I think that's pretty. I always love using different shimmers together because they all bounce light in different ways. So it's nice to have just various shimmers when you really want the shimmer to pop in different lights, you know? It's very subtle, but yes, this was the way to go. And then she definitely has some liner lining the upper lash line, maybe even tight lining into the upper waterline, and it's a dark brown. I have two dark brown shades here from Wonderskin. One's a little lighter, one's a little darker. I'm gonna start with the lighter one and see if that's the right shade for me. This one's Brown Sugar. This is a very creamy formula, but it does set down, so I recommend kind of working fast before the formula really becomes quite waterproof. So what I'm going to do is go in with it on the lash line, just smudging it tightly there, and then grab a liner brush and start smudging it out before it dries down. It's not a wing, it's just some emphasis. And then I'm gonna tuck this into the upper waterline. That's what creates that really clean look. Or you can take it on the back of the brush itself. And that's a nice way to get some precision here as you blend it. She seems to have a creamy shade in her waterline, her lower waterline. So I'm gonna take Beige Flag from Urban Decay. Yeah, I think that looks good. I'm gonna do the other eye off camera, put some lashes on, and show you the finished look. I love it. This is such like a daily type of makeup look for me, but I love playing with some pinks I don't normally turn to. I think this winter I'm gonna be really leaning into these kind of cool tone mauves on the lips. I feel like there's something really pretty about it when you want a bit more of a low contrast look. And I love the little bit of sparkle on the eye, but it's just defined enough with the liner to give it a little bit more pop. I always like a soft eye, but then something like a extra lash or whatever it is to just like add that contrast. Foundation. So normally when I have maybe especially when I have more of a dewy base, foundations will tend to really set in those lines. And I did not put any setting powder on, and thus far, I'm pretty impressed. I don't know what 12 hours will bring, but this, pretty impressive. Sometimes the lines become very obvious very quick. So yeah, that's it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions about the foundation shade, or any of the other products I use. But yeah, just in general, really excited to see brands starting to recognize olive undertones. All right, friends, that's it for today. Toasty! Let's take it away. Thanks for all the support and watching this video until the end. If you want to support the channel further, check out my Patreon link down below, where you can join the Patreon coven for a subscription fee and get a little bit of bonus content. And if you want to like, comment, and subscribe, that helps so much too. I really appreciate all the comments and love hearing from you guys. So until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.